coolest things I've ever seen while out hunting. I've never seen this before, but I just saw a beautiful white-tailed deer come running across the field, and then he hopped the tree line over there. And that coyote I saw earlier, he went in the corner of the field and sat in the bush, and that deer hopped the fence, stopped, looked around, and then he turned around and took off. And right in behind him, the coyote come running across the field after him, chasing him down. I've never ever seen that, guys, but that was really, really cool. What an experience. So now we've had the coyote come out. We've had the white-tailed deer come out. Now we just need the friggin' turkeys to come out. Well, guys, that sucked. What I'm finding with turkeys is I get so close every time. They get about halfway across the field. I don't move or nothing. They always just sit there, and then they turn around and piss off the other way. It pisses me off. But I don't know, that white-tailed deer took off that other way too. He didn't go into the bush here, so I'm thinking. And he was really weary. He was out there just walking circles. He didn't know what to do. He was snorting and hissing. And so I think that coyote's been chasing him around all morning. And that coyote circled back around after he chased him the first time. I went back into the bush behind me, and it's almost like those turkeys came up. The white-tailed deer took off that way, and they were looking at the decoys, but I think the old wily coyote must be sitting in the tree line somewhere, and the turkeys picked up on him and took off. So the coyote, this is why I hunt coyotes, guys, because they always screw up my hunt every single time. Every time, guys, they screw up my hunt. Hopefully the turkeys come back out, and if not, we'll come back for an evening, afternoon hunt and see if they come out tonight. Well, about 15 minutes ago, it just started raining pretty good. I'm gonna have to put a few patches on some holes in my hut here, guys. Next time I come out, maybe tonight, I'll bring some tape and tape up the holes. Oh yeah. The morning hunt is pretty much coming to an end. I'll probably sit out about another half an hour, and then we'll pack her up for the morning, and I'll come back out here around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Try and get the evening turkeys. If it's raining, guys, I won't come out, because I'm a strong believer in the turkeys. They kind of go back to their roost when it's raining. I don't think they're a bird that really likes to get wet. But yeah, guys, anyways, I'll get back at you when we pack. Alright guys, so from what I understand, turkeys, especially the toms, they a steady cold rain actually stops them from gobbling. They kind of just roost and don't communicate and put their breed on hold, I guess. So we're gonna pack up, and hopefully this rain stops by around 4:30, and we'll come back out here and try another shot at it. It'd be nice to get one opening day, guys. It really would be really awesome to get one opening day. But I'm gonna get packed up. That deer was so cool. That's never happened to me. But we're gonna get packed up and get back to the truck and get warmed up. This rain is cold. Hi guys, how you doing? It's Tuesday afternoon. It's 11:45. I was up at 4 o'clock today and out the door at 4:45 to go turkey hunting, and it was great, guys. I saw so much wildlife. The rain held off to about 7:30, and I mean, I saw everything. I saw, you know, just as we kind of got to that gray state in the morning where everything seems to just be black and white. And that's one of my favorite parts of the day, is when everything is, you know, the sun's not quite up yet, but it's kind of just right there, ready to come up, and that gray state only lasts for about, you know, 10 to 15 minutes. It's very, very quick, but that's one of my favorite parts of hunting, is sitting through that gray state. But so the first thing that happened to me today while I was sitting in the blind after I set up was, like I said, when the gray state kind of came into play, and Mr. Wile E. Coyote poked his head out at the very far end of the field, you know, on his way back from his night mission of trying to find that food. And he seemed to take an interest in my 3 turkey decoys and the call that I was kind of letting out. And he kind of snuck around the field and disappeared, and then he popped up down closer to me. And, you know, next thing you know, he kind of disappeared into the corner of the field in the bush there. And then about, I'd say 20 minutes later, a white-tailed deer come bouncing across the edge of the field on the far side again, and then he just crossed over the tree line in between the 2 fields, and next thing you know, boom, the tail went straight up in the air, his ears went straight up in the air, and he stopped. He froze right there, guys. And next thing you know, he turned right around and he cooks it the other way, and who's chasing him? Mr. Coyote. So that was really cool to see, guys, and I wish I could have got it on camera, but I mean, I could just see it myself. You know, it was out. I didn't have this camera with me because I knew it was going to rain, so I only had my action camera, so I had no zoom capabilities or anything like that, so I couldn't really get it on that camera. But what a cool experience. Never ever in my hunting days have I been able to watch nature kind of chase each other around, you know, like, it was really cool. So that happened, and then you know, about 10 minutes later, Mr. Coyote comes back. Same exact path. You know how coyotes are. They take the exact same path, like step for step. Disappears, pops up in my corner of the field, and then back into the bush he goes. By about that time, he was probably heading for den. He was probably pretty tuckered out after trying to chase down that deer, and he was heading for some snoozing time. So then what happens is the freaking geese come out. Okay, they're next. The geese come out and they fly across, making all sorts of racket. And then after that, I happen to have my head down, kind of looking the other way, and I poke up and look to my right. who's standing right there about 20 feet from me? A small buck. A small little bucky, probably a year and a half, almost 2 years old. But like 20 feet away, guys, and I got some really good pictures of him, and I got some hopefully got some video footage of him. I haven't checked my action cam yet, but I'm hoping I got him on there. He was poking around, and he really didn't quite know what he wanted to do. He was, you know, doing his slow little stomp and nose up in the air, and he couldn't really smell me. I don't think he could smell me too good. I think the rain and, you know, there wasn't a lot of wind, but I think the rain and the cold kind of kept my scent down. I think he could only really smell the rain and the damp earth around, but he was right there, guys, and I mean, I was in my blind behind the mesh screening, so he couldn't really see me, but man, he must have he didn't know what he wanted to do. He was confused as hell. And he must have circled and walked around. He was kind of looking at my turkey decoys, you know, oh, what are they doing? He was really interested. And he must have walked circles for half an hour, guys. And then he's still standing there. Who decides to come out? 3 turkeys. 3. It was like one big tom and maybe two toms, one big one decent sized one, and the other one was kind of small, so I'd say he was a Jake, but they were all male turkeys, guys. 3 of them. It's weird because every time I go turkey hunting and they come out, it seems like the hens come out in 3s, and then from one spot of the bush, and then the males come out in 3s as well. And it's always one big dominant one cruising with 2 smaller ones. But every time I've been out, that's how they come out, is in 3s. It's weird. So I don't know what's going on there, but they decide to come out. So of course I get really excited. I'm like, oh, opening day, awesome. Shotgun's right there, ready to go. You know, so I start trying to bring them in a little bit more, right, with some calls. And the little bucky there, he's like, well, what's going on, you know? And you know what he does? Like, the turkeys are coming in. So they come in about halfway. They're now about 70 yards out, 75 yards. This friggin' buck beside me starts snorting and friggin' hissing and putting his nose up in the air and pawing the ground, and he did not want none of that. He didn't want those turkeys coming anywhere over there. Nowhere. So he turkey blocked me, guys. The freaking deer turkey blocked me. Like, what the hell, man? But other than that, guys, it was a good morning. It got a little cold as the rain, you know, picked up, but I couldn't believe that happened. But what a great morning. Like, it's not always about shooting something, guys. Let me tell you this. Hunting is not always about going out and coming back with something. It's the little experiences like today what are the best and greatest parts of being a hunter, is seeing firsthand nature and wildlife. You know, that is what matters, because you don't notice it, even if it's happening around maybe where you live or where you go walking. But that's greatest when you're sitting at peace with yourself in nature and you see all these animals just doing their thing, their daily thing. That's the coolest part of nature, is the sounds, the sights, and the experiences, guys. And I mean, that's why I'm into hunting. I mean, I'm not all about always coming home with something. Don't get me wrong, it's nice coming home with a nice turkey or a big buck or a doe or a moose or whatever, you know, like, that's great, but that's not what it's all about, guys. That's not what hunting is about. And the best hunters are the ones that kind of pass up on certain deer or turkeys and just kind of watch it, you know. So I know myself, I've been deer hunting and I've seen, you know, 3 does or whatever, and I'm not always going to shoot one, guys. Not always going to shoot one. Sometimes it's just you're in the presence and you're kind of connecting with those animals, and you say, you know what, I can't. I physically cannot
shoot this animal right now because of the moment. And that's just how it is sometimes, guys. But anyways, I'm going to go check out the footage on that action cam, and I'll show it to you. So hold on a second.